What is up, my dudes, and that one girl who's looking for the ultimate I'm sorry gift for that thing you screwed up last week? You know you are. You know. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. You ring that bell, you know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator or save some money on some Beyond Riders gear? Then you should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me and all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Boom! You should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that also go to a good cause is a link explaining what I do with your money. Get it, got it, cool, let's move on. Alright guys, so today we are going to be talking about the 2025 CVO Road Glide RR. They're like on their way to just being pirates over at like Harley at this point in time. Let's just put a bunch of R's in there. Army matey. Alright, let's move on. That joke has died. So yes, we're going to be talking about the CVO Road Glide RR and the sad reality of this bike overall. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about a lot of the good that this bike has, because there are a lot of cool things that came out with this bike that I think should really be talked about. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a good, the bad, the ugly, and we're not pulling punches here, so let's dive in, shall we? For those of you unaware, the 2025 CVO Road Glide RR is a track-inspired model of the Road Glide. So it has a lot of the similar parts that they're running on their actual race team, and I think that is very cool. There is a lot of stuff to dive into here because they did put a lot of cool parts on here, and quite honestly, I've had issues with them using the CVO title on bikes for a long time now. I've not made any illusion of that. I've talked about this before, how I feel like saying that you're part of the custom vehicles, it's not really custom when you make over 1,000 of something. And the Street Glide alone in the 2024 model had over 1,000 come off of the production line. That's not custom. When somebody has to do something over and over and over again in the thousands, like say a paint job, it's no longer custom. Are they nice bikes? Yes, they are. I enjoyed taking them for test rides. I think they look great. They do a lot of cool stuff with them. I think this year's paint jobs on them look great. Would I call any of them custom? No, I would not. Whether you agree with me or not, that's fine. Don't care. Nonetheless, this bike comes way closer to being able to carry that CVO branding because there are only 131 of these in production total. Not entirely true because there is a number 0 in this production. So technically there is 132. However, 131 are being sold to the public. Now this bike does have a lot of cool stuff. I mentioned it before. First and foremost, it has 150 horsepower and 150 foot-pound of torque straight from the factory, which is being labeled as Harley's most powerful production bike to date. Now, I know a lot of you are about to light up the keyboard saying, oh, 150 isn't that big. You're correct, all right? We are grading on a curve because we are talking about Harley. And I know some of you guys will be like, well, this bike here, it doesn't even matter. Look, I know I can buy a 2007 Honda CBR 1000 RR that is clapped out, looks like crap, held together with duct tape and just barely rolling, that would still blow the wheels off of this bike and probably get that for a couple grand at most. But again, we're grading on a curve. We're in the Harley bubble. This is what we're talking about, and this is the most powerful Harley that Harley has released from the manufacturing production line. So let's temper expectations just a little bit. Overall though, 150 horsepower is impressive, and 150 foot-pounds of torque is also impressive. For a lot of you guys, I know that you're going to talk about like, oh, well, I can get this much torque and this much horsepower. Yes, you can, but at some point in time, you still need to hold on to your bike. So calm down, calm down. Another cool thing about this bike is they shaved about 50 pounds of weight off of it. If you went to the next closest Road Glide on here, it would be the CVO ST model, which comes in at 835 pounds curb weight. So that 785 pounds of curb weight shaves the 50 pounds, and 50 pounds does make a difference, so that is cool. Now, to shave that 50 pounds, Harley did a lot of cool stuff. First and foremost, this bike is just carbon fiber everywhere. You look at this thing, there is no doubt that there is carbon fiber tip to tail, and it looks sick. Like, they did a great job on this. And another thing is they're using machined billet aluminum on the swing arm and various other parts throughout the bike. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is a sick looking bike. Just straight up, this thing looks awesome. To top this all off, there is a custom Saddleman seat that's on here as well, and it's got like a little chest pad thing in case you actually are taking this to the track and you want to lean down and, you know, kind of be comfy while you're zipping around the track. Let's be honest, you're probably not. We'll get back to that in a little bit though. Another big change on this bike is ride modes are completely different on this bike. Normally you get standard mode, rain mode, and you get sport mode. When you get up to the ST, you've got a special track mode, and I believe they have one custom mode that you can program in there. With this bike, the rain mode and the standard mode are completely gone. So you've got sport mode, you've got track mode, you've got custom track mode, and then you've got two custom like settings that you can do. So if you want to go in there and program your own thing and make it so it's running a certain way, you can do that. If you want rain mode and standard mode back in there, you do you, bro. It's right there. You can make that happen. Other enhancements on this bike are they are running race ready Olin suspension in the back, so you're not dealing with that slave shock on the left side. You're dealing with upgraded Brembo brakes all the way around. I mean, just tip to tail, they did an incredibly good job with this bike. It looks sick, and this thing is ready to go. I also love the paint job that they're using on this. It's definitely reminiscent of what they're using on the track for King of the Baggers. Makes total sense, and that's totally cool. Overall, good job. Good job. Now here's where we come to some of the stuff that is absolutely horrible, but a little counterpoint for you guys. So, you know, take those angry fingers off the keyboard and just kind of like absorb the information just a little bit. All right. First and foremost, yes, this bike is coming in right around $110,000. That is insane. As I mentioned before, yes, I can get a $2,000 or $3,000 clapped out Honda CBR 1000 RR from 2007 that's gonna smoke this thing from like light to light, no problem. But again, we are in that Harley bubble. And when we're talking that $110,000 price tag, I know a lot of people just got all like rage and saw red and like we're like, oh, Harley has forsaken us and all this stuff. Look, Harley's not even the only bike company that has done this. A few years ago, Indian put out the Challenger RR that was meant for only track use, and it was a replica of what they were using for King of the Baggers, and that came in at $95,000, and it was very limited as well. The difference between this Road Glide and that Indian is a couple years, so prices have gone up both for Indian and Harley. So I mean, if Indian was to do this year, you'd be looking at that $100,000 price tag as well, no doubt. And the other thing is that Indian bike is only for track, so you could buy that and it was only for track. It was only legal for track. It had no working lights. It had no working anything. The saddlebags were there for decoration. This Road Glide is actually street ready and street legal. So you can buy this thing, take it out on the road. Has the same size saddlebags as any other Road Glide that you're looking at this year. And you can still go out and, you know, ride with this thing. Am I saying that this is good? No, $110,000 is expensive, but at least they made it so if you somehow like collected enough cans on the side of the road or stole enough copper wire out of houses and basements and ended up buying this thing, you could actually use this bike. So I mean, that's kind of good on Harley. We'll give that a weak clap, because I mean, at least there's a little forward thinking there. Not everyone is buying this bike and taking it to the track. Probably no one is. Now look, I know the other big complaint that people have, because I've been seeing it on the message boards, I've been seeing it in the chats and all that, is putting out a $110,000 Road Glide. Is Harley showing that they forgot who their consumer base is? I'd argue no. At least not in this respect. There's a lot of issues that I have with Harley, and I've brought them up many times. I don't think that this bike should be one of them. If they only put out $100,000 Road Glides, then yes, I would say they have forgot their consumer base, they have forgot where they came from, so on and so forth. But this is meant to be a race replica bike. There's a lot of limited parts on here, there's a lot of custom stuff on here, there's a lot of stuff that's not currently cataloged in Harley. Again, another issue that I've had with CVO in the past is a lot of times the parts are on there and then you can go buy them out of the catalog and put them on any bike later on. That's not the case with this one. These are a lot more exclusive parts. This is a much meaner, just angrier bike overall. And there are still a half dozen options below this one that any consumer can buy. You don't have to buy the $100,000 Road Glide. You can buy the base model Road Glide. You can buy the CVO. You can buy the CVO ST. It doesn't have to be this one. So when you guys are saying that, it literally does not make sense. Calm down. Now I want to get to the sad part about this bike, because there is a sad part to this bike, and it is overall just a tragedy. This is a William Shakespeare level tragedy. Like, this is something that I look at and I go, that sucks. And I've mentioned this about previous bikes before, not even just Harleys, but just other bikes. And that is at $110,000 price tag and 131 units created that are individually numbered. These bikes aren't getting ridden, man. I know that they just did their whole debut down in Florida. They had some, like, smoke shows with the tires. They did a little bit of this and that. But let's be honest, when these bikes are bought, no one's taking their $110,000 Harley Davidson and riding up to Laconia. No one's riding down to Daytona. No one's riding cross country with these. No one's taking these on road trips. No one's getting them dirty, banged up, scratched, whatever, putting the miles on these. No one's tearing through the tail of the dragon with these. Nothing. These are going into private collections. These are going into museums. These are going into like shops and storefronts to try and catch your eye and get you to come in the door. These are not being bought to be used. So it just drives me absolutely insane that you have so much awesome on a bike. Like, they're like, from the engine, the tuning, the custom parts, like all the carbon fiber, the horsepower, the torque, and it's never going to get used. It's just going to sit there for people to look at. And that is such a tragic series of events. I absolutely hate this. And I know some of you may be saying, no, somebody might. No, look, lawyers and doctors might buy these. They're going to put them in their garage. Occasionally they'll bring them out and shine them so other people can see them. Like, different shops might buy them to put them out front. Maybe one shop will buy it and try and like customize the crap out of it to get 200 horsepower out of it, so they can be like, look at how great we build stuff. But past that, private collections, museums, these are not getting used for their intended purposes, and I absolutely hate that. And I also know that this is what has happened in the past. You look at the old school V-Rod Destroyer, and that thing came out limited as well. You don't see those around. They're really only supposed to be on the track, which is why they have that big like wheelie bar in the back. But you don't see these. They don't really come out. They're in collections. They're in shops. They're in museums. They never get used for what they were meant to be used for. And I absolutely, like, this devastates me. It absolutely crushes me that like someone is not riding these bikes and using them the way they're supposed to be used. These are just museum pieces, and I don't even know how to make that funny. Like, that just sucks, man. So I don't know, like, I look at these, I check them out, I think it's great that they exist. Maybe I'll see one in person. I'm sure next time I head over to the Harley Museum, they will have number 0 over there, and that would be fantastic. but this isn't something you're going to be playing with. This isn't something I'm going to be playing with. It's not like I'm going to get on Rumble On and rent one for a day. It's just not going to happen. And I hate that. I hate that so much. That's what I've got, guys. What do you got? Do you think that these should be museum pieces? Do you think they should be getting ridden? Do you think they should have been created at all? Sound off down below. Let me hear you. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's like, oh, I'm gonna buy one. I'm just gonna refinance my single line and then I'm gonna ride it everywhere. Sure, buddy. Sure. He loves this stuff, trust me. And I'll see y'all on the flip side.